Welcome to the Shut Your Mouth Lounge, episode number 244. I am Alex, and Addie is the one who just hit the record button. Whoa.
Yes. So, out of habit, I was like, so Pink, wait a second.
You know, you could have, it was close. You could have summoned him from the ether.
Yeah. So, Addie, what's coming out on your channel? Nothing yet. I should have checked this before recording, actually. But there's this problem with my TV. It's been fixed, the big TV, quote unquote fixed, but there's still a problem with it. And it makes it so, how should I put this? There's a connection problem inside the TV. So the screen, the display, is not connecting to the I was going to say to the photon cannons that are inside of it, but no, that's the old CRTs. I don't know how the fuck LEDs work or whatever LCDs. Whatever. So basically, there's a connection problem between the display and whatever makes things appear on the display, and that's been causing the screen to vibrate aggressively. And I can actually send the video to you, so you can look at it. All right, I took a video of it with my phone, and this is how I beat Bloodborne. Like, I took this video literally right after I finished beating Bloodborne. Let's see. Yeah, give me a link. Where is the link? There it is. I'm gonna put it into, or fucking, I don't know, the recording area. So you can give it a look. But yeah, so if you press on that link, you will see what the fuck's up with my TV right now. And that's how I beat Bloodborne. But yeah, so basically, because of this being an issue,
I need access.
Oh, you should have access. That's how I made the fucking link. Okay, give me a sec to see if I can actually.
Access has been requested.
There you go. Try now. What the fuck was that?
Okay, let me try now.
It should work now.
It is working, but it's taking forever for the video to load. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's an issue in it. So this is how I beat Bloodborne. If you believe that. I am the real Souls gamer. I gained too much insight and it made my fucking display fuck up.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So the TV is gonna have to go back into the fucking service thing, so they can fix it for real this time. It is under warranty still, so that's nice at least.
Yeah.
And yeah. Yeah. The reason I'm bringing this up is because, as you'd imagine, this makes recording footage for videos and writing scripts hard because I can fucking see. Like right now, it's not flipping out, but in like an hour, it's gonna start doing it again for another 3, and then it will go back to not freaking out for another hour, and that's just been my life.
I don't know.
Yeah, this TV is apparently very fragile, judging by the fact that I saw it in one other person's video where they picked it up apparently the wrong way, even though that's how you're supposed to transport TVs, and then it just broke, as it wouldn't turn on, even though it was transported the way TVs are supposed to be. So that was, yeah. But Yeah, like it's especially fragile in the context of my other monitor, my small one, is literally the first TV I've had after CRTs. It's still working fine.
CRTs were kind of persnickety, if memory serves, but honestly, it's my memory of CRTs is not perfect.
CRTs were, well, it depended with those as well, but
I know you could
my
easily drop one on somebody's head and kill them, but
yeah, I mean you could easily just take off the fucking cover and give someone cancer if memory serves,
that's also true.
or if not then they can just be absent-minded and touch it and die of electrocution, but uh but yeah, like the like with my first flat screen display is still what I'm using for my small monitor because there's been no reason to replace it. It works perfectly. And I bought it used. Meanwhile, I got this big monitor TV, new, and it's been in need of service twice already. And it's only like 2 years old, maybe 3. So technology. I love refrigerators. There we go. But yeah, so things are kind of on hold until this whole thing is done, because there's so many things I want to record, but I also can't like the things I want to record. I would like to do it the way I did The Last of Us, where I streamed it to y'all, and then you could just join whenever you felt like it. While I'm also
Yeah,
doing a single player let's play, but
yeah.
I can't do that when there's a very real chance that my TV will just decide, hey, you can't actually see now.
That seems like it would be a problem,
Yeah,
and it would
I
especially be so because the footage from the game is also getting exported to your Gato. So the person who would be watching the stream with you would be like, "Okay, now go forward, aim to the left."
yeah, like the thing is that because of how the Elgato works, I have my PlayStation plugged into that, and then that runs out into the TV. So people would, as you said, I'm explaining this to whatever viewer we may have or whatever listener, I guess, because this is a podcast. But anyway, but the viewers would see perfectly crisp, fine footage, and meanwhile, I'm having an aneurysm.
Yeah,
So like I did try to record one thing, uh, that didn't work for multiple reasons. One of them is that the game just doesn't lend itself very well to a single person commentary. Like the gameplay isn't the best for it, but also there was a point in the middle of the recording when the TV started freaking out, and I just had to shut up and concentrate on trying to remember where things are in relation to other things, so I can pick up small pieces of stuff that I can tell apart and just play the game. I continue to play the game without it looking too weird.
Christ.
Yeah, like let me tell you, playing through Far Cry and sneaking doing this is great because it means that like it worked well with the story, because it was like Jason is fucking going mental while he's stabbing people. But yeah, so basically, no videos from my end. What about you, W?
I have not recorded anything. I kind of wanted to give myself some time to play Warhammer before I record any videos about it. However, pretty well every day since launch day, I've generally been busy doing other things on some level, either out helping other people with other things, spending time with the family, or working on fixing some bugs with the graphics card because I updated my drivers and the new drivers. Really, we're not playing nice with a variety of things and working on all that. So, the truth be told, and that first day I didn't really get to play it much either because it had just downloaded. It took way longer to install than I expected. So I've not played Immortal Empires yet. So I don't know if anything's gonna come out, but who knows? That's a momentary passion thing.
Yeah.
What's coming to your channel?
1 second, I'm loading that up, which is why the recording is going to shit.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. How much of that did you miss?
Some of it. I got most of it. You didn't get to play Immortal Empires because of the graphics card and all that.
I thought I was on and you couldn't hear me.
Oh no, you are cutting out.
Graphics card and spending time with the family and other things. Yes.
You are cutting out a bit, but I can make sense of it for the most part. So
I gotta say, so far this podcast is a fuck.
yeah. So
I must be going at like an absurd delay because I'll say something and then I hear your response 5 seconds later.
nice. I mean that one was good. I'm probably gonna put it into the year-end compilation because you just went, this podcast is a disaster. So that was good. But yeah, so coming out this week we have, say it with me guys, Spider-Man. He will never leave. But also Multiverses, and also Armello and Katamari, as well as Stray. There you go. Also, I just forgot about this because it's not recorded yet, but Fighting Games Are is also this week.
Yay!
So once again, you have an entire week of content. Because literally, shit's coming out on every day of the week.
Christ!
Yeah. I'm gonna have to check how much longer we have.
I gotta say, I can't predict this shit anymore.
What?
It's a clear blue sky out there, and still my internet's like, oh, you know what? Life sucks. I'm just gonna die.
Come back when you're a little richer.
Yeah.
But
I'm
yeah.
sorry, Link. I don't take credit.
Yeah. So yeah. W, do you wanna hit your week first? Because mine is probably longer.
Well, for the limited time I've got to put in Immortal Empires, it's great. It's quite a process to see all the mods come back on. Though the full modding kit isn't out yet, so we're not going to see the full extent of the modding experience until either about a week from now or about a month from now. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe several months from now, worst possible scenario. Either which way. Other than that, well, none of the stuff I really did was very interesting. And on top of that, you can't really hear me.
No, I can hear you.
And when you do hear me, it's apparently on a delay. So I'm just going to shut up. You hit your week. Just right. Hit your week. I'm shutting up.
Well, should we hit the bad or the good first?
I don't know. Your choice.
All right.
I said I'm shutting up.
I guess I'll hit the bed then. So, I completed Far Cry 3 for the first time. We already had a discussion about this off recording, but hey, we'll have it on recording again. Far Cry 3 was overhyped by the community, not by Ubisoft, probably by Ubisoft too, but I don't know about that. It's a very mediocre Ubisoft open world, slapped on top of a very mediocre shooter game, more or less. Like it's very of the era, but also there are things that I didn't expect even from games of the era. My problems include things such as the guns feel bad. Like, legitimately, the only gun I liked in Far Cry 3 was the shotgun because it actually felt like it killed people. Whereas the other guns felt like I was just opening up frozen packets of peas and throwing it at people and hoping they die. Let's see. What else? A lot of the activities didn't seem at all tied into the narrative or justified in the narrative. And also a lot of activities felt like they were forced on the player rather than, just being a thing that the player can do. Having to hunt all of the animals on the islands to be able to shoot my shotgun more than 3 times is a fucking chore. I did not want to do it. But I had to. And let's see what else. Vas was a bad villain. Hoyt didn't really exist. Okay, Vas wasn't a bad villain. Vas was very off his time in that he is just Heath Ledger. Vas is just doing a Heath Ledger impression for the whole game, and then he dies. And yeah,
Hoyt, like the real Heath Ledger.
Yeah. So what you're saying is Jason Brody killed Heath Ledger in that hotel room, and they made it look like a suicide.
Yeah.
But yeah,
yes,
all of the characters kind of sucked in different ways. I didn't like any of the people that we were supposed to like. The white protagonists were hedge fund babies, and I didn't want to save them. That's the point. Like, when you save someone from certain death, you have to jump out of a burning building that blows up, and the first thing they go is, "Man, I wish I was in California." Not even I wish I was in California, because that makes some sense. Man, I wish I was acting in Hollywood right now. Then all of my sympathies go out of the window as well. Not just the people. But yeah, the Islanders who were rebelling against Vas and Hoyt, they're sympathetic for the first half of the game, and then suddenly Ubisoft's writing kicked in, and they realized, hey, we need to make these guys suck too. So then they as well become sucky. Vas was once again Heath Ledger. Hoyt was not there. And the biggest thing that I kept in mind throughout my playthrough of Far Cry 3 was one of the things that Mike raised in its favor, which is that you can go anywhere. Because multiple times I was stopped by the game from doing activities that I wanted to outside of the main story because I was going out of bounds. Out of bounds, talking about the second island that you need to progress through 75% of the story to actually go to. So you can't go anywhere you want. I want to get all of the shitty, sucky, fucking, like, Borgia towers and the fort defenses or whatever, fort attacks out of the way first. And the game was like, no, you do it for a day on the first island. Then you have to spend 3 days going through the story that you don't actually care about because all of the characters suck. And then you have to do it again for the other island. But overall, without changing too much of the game, like I in my opinion, the other thing that really bothered me is how the vehicles controlled. I thought they were too, like they lacked tension with the ground. This is the best way I can put it. So it wasn't as much driving a truck as really driving a car or driving a boat on top of asphalt, and somehow it's sliding across because it's I guess wet or something.
Yeah.
And then like if they wanted to fix my biggest issues with the game, then what they would have to do is just raise the ammo count so you don't have to scrounge for bullets as much, because like it's a thing of like you said while we were talking about this off recording that it incentivizes picking up the enemy's ammo or the enemy's weapons, but to me that doesn't work either, because that still uses the same bullet reserves that you have. So if you by default don't have a lot of assault rifle ammo, then picking up the other guys' guns won't really do much aside from give you like half a magazine. And also the other thing that I really fucking hated, like you can tell that I get really pissed off about small things, because the thing that I actually was the most frustrated by was the fact that to do anything I have to hold square. Why cannot press square to do things that are not easily like, confusable with other actions or whatever, like, things that you want to make sure that I need to confirm. Like, why do I need to hold square to pick up fucking like items of a corp? Oh no, that makes sense. What was the one that really pissed me off with this? Because like some of these make sense. Opening a door, okay, that fucking loads another instance or whatever. Like, that needs to load the inside of the building. That makes sense that you would put it on load or hold, because then you're loading it in. Swapping weapons makes sense because you want to make it be confirmed. Fucking whatchamacallit, shit, looting corpses also, I guess, like, I can justify that being on hold. I know, picking up the random collectibles. That's what pissed me off, because I was like, hey, I there's relics in some of the places that I visit a lot, but like I feel like having to press and hold square to pick up a vase or to take 2 leaves off of a tree was a bit too much. Like, I shouldn't have to give a
To
big
be
sit.
honest, if you had
Yeah,
asked me, I probably would have said to you that Far Cry would be like the exact opposite of your idea of a good game.
maybe. Bless you. But I just hear so much about how Far Cry 3 is the only good Ubisoft game, and no, like it's mediocre. It's not, bless you. It's not bad. The worst thing I'll call it is mediocre, but it's you know. But yeah. So for a contrast, bless you. For a contrast, I downloaded and started up Far Cry 4, and Far Cry 4 fixes some of these. There's more, I guess, symbiosis, or I don't know what to call it. Bless you. There's more symbiosis, or whatever you could call it. Like, there's more, the pieces of the narrative and gameplay things work together to justify each other. That yeah, that I won't go into the bed yet, because there is betting that too. But yeah, uh, the ammo count is raised to a level that's actually like tolerable, because your base amount of ammo that you can carry in Far Cry 4 is the same amount that you can carry in the middle of Far Cry 3, as in like at the mid upgrade for the ammo holster, whatever the fuck they call it. I forget, ammo bag. So that simple fix or simple change fixed some of my issues. It also doesn't hurt that the guns no longer feel like I'm opening up fucking bags of frozen peas and chucking it at people. So that doesn't hurt either in making it so the shooting actually feels worthwhile. And a lot of the random encounters you'd have in the wild while just traversing are further justified by a radiant quest system, where uh you know that you can get random encounters where you need to like free what the words we're looking for, hostages. There we go. You have to free hostages, or like kill an important guy in the army or whatever, and feel another meter that's next to your experience meter, and that gives you further rewards. That actually makes that like a lot of the problems I had with Far Cry 3 weren't just because these things exist. It's these things exist and are in no means really justified in the context of the game. That being said, the game does have issues. Mainly that, for one, the world is as vibrant or bland as Far Cry 3 was, which is to say that a lot of the world feels kind of the same. Also, speak, because I just realized that I'm not sure if it's recording you. It should be. Okay, it's fine.
Yes, okay. There you go.
So yeah, where was I? So yeah, the world is only as vibrant or interesting or bland as Far Cry 3's was. So if you don't like Far Cry 3's world, you won't like Far Cry 4's and vice versa. Like it's the complaint raised against Far Cry 4 is just Far Cry 3 again is very valid. Like the best way I can put Far Cry 4 is just Far Cry 3 with quality of life improvements. Like enough quality of life improvements that I like it more, but still. Uh, let's see what else. The characters like Pagan Min, I think is a better antagonist than Voss was, because Voss was more bombastic, but Pagan Min feels like a character that they wrote instead of just ripping off Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
But aside from Pagan Min, everyone else is just kind of bland and sucky because that's Ubisoft, I guess. But like it's a like how do I really put this, like uh AJ or Ajay, I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it anymore, but yeah, he's definitely a lesser protagonist to Jason because AJ is just kind of there. Like AJ is put into the middle of this freedom fight, and he's just like, okay, I guess this is my life now, and he just does it. Like they did a better
The
job.
true ending is the one where you just sit in Pagan Min's office for 40 minutes.
Yeah, I know, I did that once. I do like how I like that. I like that. It's I don't like how they kept doing it for every other game after it. But for it to have that be a part of the story, I like that twist. The best way to play the game is to not play the game at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Freedom Fighters. I've played through this game once before for context. I don't remember most of the story because there's not much story, honestly. But yeah. Oh yeah, I was talking about fucking how AJ is not a character. But yeah, like they justified with Jason, they justified how he becomes a psychopath, and that was even a plot point that he's a psychopath now. AJ gets off of the boss at the start of the game. He gets kidnapped pretty much by Pagan Min. He's freed. Immediately, he can just go and start shooting up animals and people alike. And there's not much stopping you. So yeah, like there's definitely a lot less justification for the gameplay from a character standpoint with AJ than there was with Jason. And let's see, they also changed. They nerfed the I'm forgetting the name of it. The suit that makes you that lets you glide. The gliding suit, yes. But yeah,
The wingsuit.
yeah, the wingsuit. They nerfed that, so it's more realistic. Which, on one hand, I prefer the Far Cry 3 wingsuit because it's more fun. At the same time, it did make the gliders that they have set around the world basically useless. And they also did still update it so now you can go freely between the wingsuit and the parachute, which I don't know if that was a thing in Far Cry 3. But yeah, overall, thus far, Far Cry 4 is, from a gameplay standpoint, better just because of the quality of life of the updates or upgrades. But aside from that, yeah, no, it genuinely is just Far Cry 3, but with quality of life upgrades. And I guess a lesser protagonist. But yeah. Then, going on to games that I actually fucking liked this week.
Ah!
I downloaded a couple of indie games off of the PS Plus thing because, that you don't know which games you or it's a thing of you can judge based on how the game looks whether you like it or not, but you give shit a chance. And I like giving a wide variety of things a chance when it comes to video games, especially with subscription-based models like this, where it's just, hey, this is a thing that's in that you already technically have access to, so you might as well play it for like 20 minutes, you know. And
I'm sorry. I'm
yeah.
sorry, I didn't hear that last part. What was it?
So yeah, I said that I like to give a wide variety of games a chance, especially when it's in something like a subscription based model like the new PS Plus and Game Pass, where it's already in the subscription, so you already have access to it. You might as well give it like 20 minutes, you know?
It is, but you play a lot of games you don't like.
Yeah, but I pay for some of them. Like that's the kicker. Like in fact, most of them I've paid for.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Because like the games I don't tend to like or tend to be the big sellers, the one that fucking the mainstream likes, so they don't get added to Game Pass because everyone or you know those sorts of things because everyone already owns them. And that's the story of how I own The Witcher 3. But yeah,
Eh.
yeah. So I downloaded a couple of games from that looked indie-ish that seemed to have a an interesting cover or whatever or a fine premise. I mean, one of these I literally downloaded because the icon looked interesting, and then I looked at one picture I think of the game, and I was like, okay, I don't need to read the description. I don't need anything else. I'm giving this a shot, and worst things first, I downloaded the game in 5 seconds to then delete it in 10. You know, and
Oof.
that game was Connect Tank. Connect Tank is a puzzle. It's a puzzle roguelite, which means that you have to do puzzles to advance in the game, but it's also an endless runner, pretty much. You can just do the missions infinitely. There is multiple forms of permanent what you call it progress. There we go, progression. There are multiple forms of permanent progression, but I don't know what they do just yet. As in, one of them is the ability to unlock further weapons for your mech, which yeah, that's a very obvious
Yeah.
form of permanent progression. But other one is you have to choose between which side you're supporting, and you can switch which side you're supporting before each mission. Or well, depending on which mission you chooses which side you're supporting for with that mission. And so you can do, I don't know, like 12 missions for one company, and then do another that takes them down a notch, and just basically undermine the progress you made, so you can put the progress up for the other companies. And because of this whole setup, I haven't been able to max out a bar yet to see just what happens. I'm gonna wager nothing, but I haven't hit it yet. So, but yeah, Connect Tank is a game where you're a postal service pretty much. Well, you're mercenaries that act like a postal service. Uh, driving around a large teamed mech. The basic mech is just a robot, as you'd imagine. There's other couple that are literally just robots, but it's usually teamed. So it's like, here's a firefighter mech. He shoots at he shoots at blue projectiles because they're water. He is weak to fire. Or
Where's
like,
the Mexican Gundam?
there is a Mexican Gundam.
I
No,
know.
I mean in the
It's
game.
amazing.
Like it's not the Mexican Gundam, but if memory serves, there is like a fucking like a cactus sombrero fucking themed gun or mech in the game.
Amazing.
Yeah, and technically these are not mechs; these are tanks. These are very advanced tanks. So mechs, you know. But yeah, like they call them tanks because they run on treads, but they're all still deemed to be humanoid. So I don't know where you draw the line between mech and tank in this case. Oh, there's also like there's also some weird ones. Like there's a beekeeper themed one, which is the one that I tend to use. There's a beekeeper themed one that shoots flowers and is weak to shoes. Because both the element, the color, and the form of the projectiles determines whether or not a mech is weak to it. So you have to play around with that because if you have a projectile that's in the right form and color, then they take more damage. But also, like that's one layer of strategy. Also, when the game loads into a battle, you need to arrange your conveyor belts so that your ammunition goes from the ammunition crafter thing to the cannon in the most efficient way possible. Also, you need to also there's recipes.
Factorio.
Yeah. Also, there's recipes at the top of the screen. You have to follow these recipes to make the shots, to make ammo. You have scraps, or you have a scrap spawner that you can hit to spawn more scraps. It also spawns scraps by itself. And you have to look at the top and see, okay, so this shot right now requires one yellow and one blue. So you go and throw those into the crafting station, which automatically crafts the thing, sends it down the conveyor belt, and shoots it. This is how you attack. It takes many moves to attack.
Yeah.
But that's like it's thus far been a very enjoyable experience. Like there have been hard times, but I mean this game is designed with local 4-player co-op. So, they probably expect you to go like, hey, okay, so we're gonna sit down with the boys, and then this guy does nothing but the crafting. That guy does nothing but maintaining the conveyor belts, because the conveyor belts can break down. In which case, you have to take them out and shove them into the healing station, which takes some time to heal them. So your best effort is usually when you spawn in, there's extra conveyor belts in the same shape. So you can just swap them out on the fly when one gets broken, and then you can shove it into the healing station. There's so many moving parts of this game that I'm fucking surprised they didn't forget to ensure one thing doesn't fuck up. And like that's not even talking about the random level changes, is the best way I can put it, where you can spawn into a fight and there's a chance that you'll get, I don't know, like a fuel efficient frame is what they call it, where everything is just shoved onto your walking space. So there's like it's very maze like, and it's hard to traverse the mech from the inside because that's fuel efficient. Or there's another one where the crafting station keeps despawning. As in like there's 4 places, for example, that the crafting station can be in when this configuration starts up. There's 4 places it can be in. It will, while you are throwing shit at it, it will sometimes just choose to go to the other place that it's supposed to be at. So you have to keep up with that too. And I know those are the times when it's like when it feels like they designed the game with multiple people in mind, because I can somewhat keep up with all of this shit alone, but it's definitely a thing where it would be a lot easier and maybe more fun if there were other people also being able to go like, hey, it disappeared, so you don't throw the things there. Or if one person had to keep track of the separate moving parts instead of having to keep track of everything at the same time. But that's not a fault of the game. That's a fault of I'm a lonely asshole. But yeah. Aside from that, the game also has a very nice art style. It's very indie, or like Newgrounds-ish, I guess. I don't know. It has a very apparent art style. It's very stylized in how it does things, and I like it. It's kind of sketchbookish, and it's very appealing to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a fun game overall. The music, like, I guess if you want one complaint, there's no voice acting. That's it. That's a very small thing that you can excuse because it's a fucking indie game.
Yeah.
Like, that's the worst part of this game. There isn't this one thing that you can justify them not having. So yeah, that's Connect Tank. Then I gave a chance to a game series that I have heard a lot about, but I haven't been able to, try out for myself, which is Gunvolt. Have you heard of Gunvolt, W?
No, I have not.
So, imagine this. If Mega Man, the original series, I mean, if Mega Man is Street Fighter 2 and Mega Man X is Street Fighter Alpha, Gunvolt is Guilty Gear. So,
Ooh.
yeah. So, Gunvolt, uh, I don't like. I think it was made by the people who used to work on Mega Man. It's Inti Creates, the people who made Mighty Number 9 and this series. Mighty Number 9 was bad. This series is not. And I'm just gonna ruin the tension of what my opinion is. but yeah, the Gunvolt is what I like. The reason I don't like Mega Man, and this is Gunvolt made me realize the exact reason that I didn't like, didn't enjoy playing Mega Man as much. Either of the original series, I guess. I don't know what to call them, because I liked Zero, and I liked EXE, but neither of those are traditional Mega Man games. And the reason I didn't like them as much as I did the spin-offs is because they're not fucking crazy enough with the movement. I don't get what the big difference is, because Gunvolt adds an air dash. That's that's a big gameplay mechanic instead of just being a dodge like I think X can get an air dash later on, but it's literally just a dash in the air. In Gunvolt, you air dash into people, which allows you to lock onto an enemy, which means that all of your shots fired for a bit of time hit them automatically. You don't have to aim. And this is a very interesting way to work around the fact that Mega Man can't shoot in 8 directions like you can in Contra. Because this way, Mega Man can shoot in 8 directions. He just has to shoulder tackle people first.
Naturally.
Yeah. And this sounds a bit broken, as you'd imagine, just being able to shoulder tackle people and basically just immediately kill them. But how the game balances this is that dashes are on a separate meter called bullets. Bullits. Bullets. Fucking orc naming scheme. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're on these bullets, which is which they actually gave an explanation in the game for the name being weird and the shape, because they're not actually bullets. They are energy tanks that the protagonist thought looked lame, so he made them into he made them bullet casings and started calling them bullets. That's dumb.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, so basically these are these energy tanks that he needs to use up to be able to dash at all. And you can regain bullets either by successfully tackling a person, a wall, or by waiting. Like they refill automatically after a while. But yeah. Other thing that I liked about Gunvolt, this is not just Gunvolt. This is the game I'm talking about right now exactly is Gunvolt Chronicles. Give me a sec, I can't see the fucking paper. Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger X. Because this is technically a spin-off, I think, of the main series of Gunvolt. Which is, and this is like a prequel to a game that came out in the same series that has a completely different name and Japanese. The series is Japanese, if you couldn't tell. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, Luminous Avenger X follows the character of Koppen, is how they named him in the translation, but they very obviously are saying Akira in the dub or whatever the fucking the voice acting, because the voice acting is in Japanese, and there is no dub. But like it's very funny when they're like when the character is like Akira-kun, and then the text just says Koppen. So my headcanon is that his full name is Koppen Akira. Just why not?
Yeah.
But yeah, follows that guy, and his sidekick, who is a robot idol, but not Hatsune Miku, because we couldn't license her out.
Yeah.
And Yeah, they're it's like I got I by playing this game first, I got thrown into the world completely blind, and I kind of like it better this way because I don't know what the fuck's up. Like I can give you the words they're using, but I don't know what they mean.
It's alien.
Yeah, like they're like the only word that I knew is sumeragi, which I only know because and I think sumeragi means like king or whatever, like enhanced or something. But yeah, I only know because of Sengoku Basra. So
Eh.
like aside from that, they were just like the minnows, which actually why do I know what that means? I mean, in this world, there's people who have magical powers and people who don't. The people who don't are called minnows. The people who are called adepts, and the adepts formed Sumeragi to try to because they feel superior to the minnows and they're trying to wipe out the minnows. And I don't know what the fuck's up anymore. That's all playing through the game got me. That's as far as I got into the world.
Eh.
But yeah, uh, there's some very like the game is very Mega Man. Like it's one thing. It's one of those things where like you play Street Fighter 2 and then you play Guilty Gear. I don't know which one I could point out. I guess XX, and you can feel that XX took things from Street Fighter 2, but it's not the same thing. You know.
Yeah.
And this is the same. This is the same way with Luminous Avenger. Like I'm playing it and like yeah no I can't aim in 8 directions like just like in Mega Man, and I can dash just like in Mega Man, and I pick up the boss's powers just like in Mega Man, but I'm also zipping across the screen and killing people who are under me by curving the bullets magically because I shoulder tackled them, and yeah like it really is just what if Mega Man was more crazy with its movement and maybe also with its powers? That's it.
Yeah.
And I am legitimately like this game was so good that I'm looking into buying the rest. So I expect the next Gunvolt game to announce that they're gonna try and copy fucking Dark Souls, or I guess Hollow Knight in this instance because that's closer. But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've also played the other stuff that's available because this isn't the only Gunvolt game available on PS Plus. So is Galgunvolt Burst. Galgunvolt Burst is a crossover between Gunvolt, Galgun, and Mighty Number 9. Because
what the fuck?
Yeah, it's well, I think I know for a fact that Mighty Number 9 and Gunvolt are made by the same company. I don't know if Galgun is. It might be. But yeah. So Galgun Volt Burst is in the style of classic Mega Man, like the Luminous Avenger series, or at least the one part that I played because there's two of them. But the part that I played is very much like very obviously taking notes from Mega Man X specifically, whereas Galgun Volt Burst is taking notes from classic Mega Man, which is why the game looks like it's on the NES.
Yeah.
And also why there's not as much craziness. Like, there's no dash at all. Now, yeah. Like the Galgun Volt Burst is missing a lot of the things that made me enjoy Luminous Avenger X. But at the same time, it does still do things with the Mega Man, the classic Mega Man formula that are interesting, at least enough for me to have nearly finished it already because it's a very short game. Like,
all right.
Yeah, they went all in on replay value or whatever, replayability. Like instead of trying to make very long Mega Man classic Mega Man levels, they made like short to mid length, like basically what you'd expect out of classic Mega Man length levels, and they made it so you can unlock shit by playing the game more. So like revisiting the same maps has a purpose, because a big part of this game is changing your Mega Buster. So it's you don't get the boss's abilities strictly. No, instead what you get is by exploring the levels and choosing, because once you beat a level, you get to choose between three whatchamacallit, shit, three treasures, I guess, because that's what the game calls it. You have to choose between 3 items that either make it so you have a higher threshold for shit that you can put into your saber. You can choose to retain a part of that boss's arsenal, but probably that element.
A part of their what?
Arsenal.
Oh,
not
I
arsehole.
heard something very different.
Not arsehole.
Yeah, that's what. Okay.
Yeah, once you combine all of the mighty numbers as arseholes, then you win. But yeah, so where was that? Yeah, you don't get to take their weapons. Instead, you can take their element. You can choose that when you beat the level. But yeah, and stuff like this. But the other stuff, because there's other stuff in the levels. The other stuff is hidden, and you need to either use an item they call the dowsing rod that they shove into your saber to give you an idea about where these items are, or you just need to actually go through the levels trying to look for secrets to then unlock things like, once again, a higher threshold or further enhances to the have I been calling it a saber? Shit. Your Mega Buster, your pea shooter. There we go. And you can tell that I mostly played the fucking Zero games, because I'm just like, Z-Saber. Yes. Good enough.
I wasn't saying anything because I'm not up on the lore.
Yeah, Zero's sword is called the Z-Saber, if memory serves. So, it would make sense why I default to Saber as the default Mega Man weapon, but it's not. But yeah. So, anyway. Yeah, so the threshold that I'm talking about is as you go through the levels and get these hidden chips, like they're literally microchips. You get these as you get these hidden chips, you get to go into the menu, or into a menu, and you get to customize pretty much any part of how the pea shooter shoots, as long as you have already unlocked the part, or rather, as long as you found a chip, then that item gets added to the list that you can choose. So you can change how long it stays on screen, whether it goes through walls or not, whether it goes through enemies or not, how it arcs, if it arcs at all. Are you shooting one shot or 3? Are you shooting, or can there be 3 projectiles on screen, or less, or more? I'm assuming there can be more. I haven't reached the part where, or I haven't found the upgrade that's supposed to give you more, if there is one, but whatever. I'm assuming the best.
Yeah.
What else can you change? The element of the shot, so you can exploit weaknesses. It's their workaround to not have to literally just rip off Mega Man 1-to-1. I don't know if I like it as much as the way Luminous Avenger did it, where the rest of the game is different and they did it in that part, because that part of Mega Man is the most fun part, where you're just like, hey, I got this arm off of Melt Man. But yeah.
He screamed as I tore it off of him.
Yeah. But where was I going? So yeah, the element. You can also change how much damage you take, and it also changes the threshold, because there's a set number of points that you can reach, and all of these options add or decrease the amount of points that you're using up. There's a part that's called like a plasma shield or plasmid shield, or I forget, where you can change how much damage things do to you, and you can make it so things do 25 or 0.25% damage, or something like that. It would be 25%, yeah, because they work off of holes, whatever. So yeah, so things can do 25% damage to you, and that takes up money. But you can also make it so things do 3 times as much damage to you, and that lowers your score. So if you want, so if you want to use something that you're not at the threshold yet, threshold for yet, you can just turn the game into Dante Must Die, and just use the thing still. if you do the math right.
Whew.
Yeah. And speaking of Dante Must Die, that's the thing. Like with Luminous Avenger. Luminous Avenger also has upgrades like this, where you can unlock a thing that heals you when you do a super move or stuff like that. There's two upgrades that are just fucking Heaven or Hell and Dante Must Die mode, if memory serves. Heaven or Hell is definitely a thing because I think they even call it that.
Well, explicitly just heaven or hell?
I think so. And that's the thing, like, Luminous Avenger is not just Megaman, it's stylish hero action Megaman. Which is probably why I like it. But yeah, it also seems like all of these spin-offs, because these are all spin-offs of Gunvolt, I don't even know which one the original Gunvolt game is supposed to be. I looked at the series list, and everything just looks like spin-offs. So that's great. But yeah. So every game in the Gunvolt series or whatever these spin-offs all have their own gimmick. Luminous Avenger is stylish hero action Mega Man. Gunvolt Burst does fucky things with the pea shooter. There's another game in the series that I didn't write up, but I remember playing it called Kogen. And what is the rest of the title? Because it's a longer title than just Kogen, but it's so fucking weird that I don't remember. Give me a sec while I open this up. All right. So it's called Kogen, Sword of Rewind.
Weird.
Yeah. So Kogen, Sword of Rewind, is the latest, as far as I can tell, installment in Gunvolt. It's also a spin-off. It follows from what I can tell, it follows one of the characters that you meet in Luminous Avenger years after Luminous Avenger. Now that they've also become a big robot killer machine. Because like there's this supportive girl character that Akira is helping because for shelter pretty much, and they share a name with the main protagonist of this game, and they also share an eye color if memory serves. So judging, going by anime standards, these should be the same character.
It's typical Japan laws.
Yeah. And yeah. So Kogen is weird. It doesn't play like either of the games I just mentioned. I haven't played the full version. There's a free demo, which is nice. It's also like not only is it a free demo, it's a level that they made. It's two levels actually that they made specifically for the demo to show off the game's mechanics and stuff like that. They even wrote stuff and had voice acting for some of it. It's not in the full game. None of this is in the full game. And I even really like the gimmick of the demo. Because the gimmick of the demo is try to beat the game in 30 minutes. If you can't beat the game in 30 minutes, or if you can't beat the demo in 30 minutes, you get sent back to the title screen. And then you can just try again. But it's a very it's a very weird thing, but it's a neat gimmick that makes it stick with you, in my opinion. Like it's a very interesting way to handle things. And I wish that not only demos still existed, but people gave as much of a shit as these people seem to give about this whole series. Because whenever, yes, a lot of it is just, hey, what if Mega Man but blank? But they actually seem to give a lot of care into making the blank work with Mega Man.
Yeah.
So, the gimmick of Kogen is that there's two actually. Gimmick one of Kogen, you don't have a Mega Buster. You have a Z Saber. Well, kind of. You have a sword. It's not a Z Saber. It's not that good, but it's a sword. It's a short range Mega Man game. So that's a weird thing. Immediately.
Short range Mega Man. I have a hard time thinking how that would work.
Well, Kogen is thus far the hardest game for me. Because the platforming is still Mega Man, which is fine. Also, you don't have a gun. That's horror.
Huh.
Like, you know, there's parts where it's like, okay, so you need there's these timed platforms that go away if you stand on them too long, or if you don't stand, like, they're timed to the level. So basically, you imagine the invisible blocks, but while the invisible blocks are also a thing, there's also enemies flying about the invisible blocks in manners so that if you try to jump on them, you get fucking killed. Also, you have a sword. You don't have a gun. You can shoot them.
Oh,
And this is the demo.
oh boy.
This is in the demo. But other gimmick of the game, and this is another thing that I need to bring up with the difficulty. Other thing in the game is the gimmick of the game is, well, it's called Sword of Rewind. It's time travel, or at least, you know, rewinding the game so you don't die like in Prince of Persia. And how they balance this is like Prince of Persia. Actually, now that I think about it, it's a meter. You have a meter of the amount of, or like, that has bars that you have to use up to rewind time. The difference between the two is that if memory serves, the bars didn't refill automatically in Prince of Persia. They do here, and they abuse this fact because the blocks that I was talking about, the disappearing blocks, work off of the rewind. So the farther you rewind, the longer the blocks stay around. But even when you rewind the max amount, they don't stay around for long. So imagine having to spend resources that make it so you don't die, because this is the only thing keeping you from dying, by the way. You die in one hit otherwise.
Jesus.
Yeah. So you're spending up your resources that assure you that you don't die. So you have a chance to jump on the blocks that will go away if you spend too much time on them. Also, there's people like put in just the right places to make you die if you try to jump on the block. Also, you have a sword instead of a gun. So Kogen might be the hardest baseline Mega Man game that I've tried thus far.
Sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
But yeah, so I'm gonna try more to actually be able to finish the demo at least, and then maybe buy the game, because none of these games are overly expensive. The Kogen is $20, maybe 25 or so, if I convert it right. So, you know, and that game came out at the start of the year, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I think the start of this year. Let me check, because I can have it open very easily. It came out in 27th of January 2022. So yeah. And there's also a lot of cross promotion with these games. Like, if you like Kogen, and then you also like Koppen, guess what? You can fly Koppen, or you can buy Koppen to be in Kogen as DLC. He gets his own missions, and you can play as him for some reason. And there's there's other characters like this, and there's also like there's a cross promotion thing, I guess, in Luminous Adventure X2, which I'm gonna have to buy now that I'm a fan, I guess. But yeah, in that one, you can pay $10. All of the DLC seems to be $10. You can pay $10 to fight Kogen, or whatever, you know, the character from Kogen. And there's like they call it a special DLC boss, but knowing the fucking the enemy fuckery that is up with these games, there's story in there, there's lore. So yeah, like, this is genuinely a series that I didn't expect to enjoy. Well, it's a hard thing to pinpoint for me whether I went into this going, oh well, I don't know if I like this or not, because I've heard a lot about Gunvolt. I've heard a lot about how Gunvolt is the only good series that Inti Creates is making. But, you know, every time I looked at it, I was like, well, you know, I could see how I would like this, because it's kind of just more like faster, I guess, Mega Man. But at the same time, I don't like Mega Man. So would I really like this? And that's what kept me from buying the games before.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, if nothing else, I definitely enjoyed Luminous Avengers series. We'll see about the others. I will probably get the others as well, because you can buy most of the series. I think there's one game that you can't buy. or at least I haven't been able to find on PS4.
All
And yeah,
right.
so that I've also played Resogun. Have you heard of Resogun?
Yes, Soon was real big on it when the PS4 first launched. It was the first game he really liked on it.
Yeah, he said that he was in the top, like he was a top player at the time. He didn't say it that way, but like things change. Like he said that he got to the top of the leaderboards, but on Resogun. But at the same time, that was, I'm assuming, years ago. So probably people probably beat his
Yeah.
score. So yeah, Resogun is a bullet hell shoot 'em up that's horizontal. That's that I'm pointing out that it's horizontal, both because there's a difference between vertical and horizontal shooters, but also uh I don't like horizontal shooters. I've played Fantasy Zone. I think that's the name of it. I always want to call it Fantasy Strike, but that's the fighting game. uh,
Meh.
but yeah, I played Fantasy Zone. I played what other horizontal shooters have I played? Hmm. I don't actually know. But whatever. Basically, I played Fantasy Zone and didn't really like it that much. And I didn't play that many vertical scrolling shooters either. I played a lot of Galaga. Well, not Galaga, Galaxian. There we go. That's the proper one because Galaxian came before Galaga. I'm
Yeah.
old. I'm old and young at the same time. But yeah, uh, I played a lot of Galaxian, and I liked that game. But yeah, after that I didn't really play that many shooters because, or shoot 'em ups, because most of them were like space themed, and I don't care generally about space. Like it's a thing of like shooters, both vertical and horizontal, tend to be like either spaceships or helicopters or planes, and I don't care about aviation or space travel all that much, and not enough for it to sell a game to me. And anyway,
Yeah.
and so the shooters that I tend to be interested in tend to be things that you use other teams. Like I brought this up and we had a spat about it with Soon, because I brought it that I would like to play Toho, which has fucking anime girls. But I want to play Toho because it's one of the fucking hardest vertical shooters. And that concept is interesting to me. Like the anime girls, I'm sure there's people who got into it because of the anime girls. The anime girls is the reason that I haven't played Toho yet. Pretty much.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I've seen videos of Toho, the easier Tohos, might I add, and I was like, okay, so how do people parse information in this? Because there was legitimately one fight where in one of the bosses have multiple phases in that, and they changed the way they fire projectiles depending on the phase, and one of the phases was just okay, so there's this one like 5x5 square where your character can stand and you won't die on the whole screen. And that was the shooting pattern for that phase. And that was, if memory serves, that was one of the easier Tohos. So yeah. So that's why I'm interested in trying that Toho whenever if ever it actually like becomes easy to play on consoles, because I don't want to go out of my way to get it for PC. I don't know where you do it, and I don't want to search it up because the anime girls. But yeah,
Yeah.
so basically what I'm saying is Resogun is the exception. I've actually really enjoyed Resogun. It's not uh overly complex, but at the same time, you do need to juggle stuff. It does a good job making it so you get time to breathe at the same time, enforcing that the game is a fucking bullet hell. Like it's not a complete bullet hell at all times, but boy, there's phases or waves rather of enemies where you just go, oh yeah, this is a bullet hell. I forgot, and then the game makes you remember real hard.
I
Because there's usually yeah, go ahead.
What would you say like really makes it different from the other games that makes you like it over the others?
What makes me like it over other horizontal shooters is the scoring system. The scoring system in part, it's more interesting to me than like it's a more interesting way to do a whatchamacallit, a lapping or whatever horizontal shooter than I've seen in others, as in like Fantasy Strike, because that was pretty much the thing that started. But whatever. Uh,
Yeah.
in that there's certain waves, or what I mean is that you need to shoot, and instead of giving you an upgrade like in other shooters, you unlock a person. A person falls out of a box, and you need to take them to a transporter. One of the four, I think, located on the map, so that they can get sucked out of the danger zone. And once you do that, then you get an upgrade to something, but you don't know what. It could just be more points. It could be a shield. It could be another life. It could be another bomb. A bomb is another thing that I like, and makes it closer to a bullet hell than a normal shmup. Bombs are a thing in bullet hells to clear the screen. It's a panic button, pretty much. It's a panic button, and more normal shooters don't tend to need a panic button because they're designed in a way that makes it so they're not too overwhelming. Bullet hells, that's the entire point. Like you're playing a bullet hell to be overwhelmed with projectiles somewhat, and then try and still pull it together. But sometimes the pressure gets too much, or there's just too many things on screen, and your character, or your plane, I guess, or whatever, isn't upgraded enough to deal with it, and then you press the panic button, and everything goes away.
Yeah.
Let's see what else I like about it. Well, the music's not bad. I mean, that's true for all of the games that I've liked this week. That the music's not bad. I don't know if it's stuff that I would listen to outside of the game, but it works very well for the game. So whatever. Uh, Other part that I like is the customization. Because if you want to do it, the game has a mode. It allows you to make your own planes. You get to do 3D pixel art, and whatever you make in the 3D pixel art is your plane. And you can even change, like, because of this, you can change where the shots come out of, and where the thrusters are on the ship and all that, which is a nice touch. Like I enjoy this. I like this. It's there used to be a way to download other people's planes if you like that design. The servers are down, so the sharing aspect isn't there anymore. But still, you still get to make your own planes.
Yeah.
And yeah, otherwise it's just it's a nice arcade experience. Like it's nostalgic to me because even though I'm fucking 22, I went through a lot of generations of consoles, even though they were already out by the time I was born. And so it's nostalgic because when I'm playing Resogun, I'm like, hey, yeah, it's like Galaxian was. Now the funny thing here is that I could be playing Galaxian right now on my PS4. It's out on PS4. But yeah, like the reason I don't own Galaxian on the PS4 is because they put both Battle City and Galaxian. Namco put them into compilations, and I don't care about any of the other games. I care about those two, and they're in separate compilations. And also the compilations cost like I want to say like $20 or $30. So not really worth it for two games. Or like the $40 to $60 is not really worth it for two like 20-year-old games, if not more. Yeah, definitely more actually. 30, I
Yeah.
guess, is closer to real. But yeah. And let's see, did I play anything else? No. Well then, I did make a logo that we might need to use later in the year, which is
All right.
the reason I made it pretty much. Will this send? Yes. Alright, it's in logos.
Yeah, I like it.
Alright. I legitimately had no idea what to do to make this whole thing work. I think the biggest takeaway from this logo is that or the most interesting tidbit I guess about this logo is that I had to actually bust out my cursive writing skills.
Oh, your cursor. I thought you said you're cursed something. I was like,
No,
what?
not cursor, cursive.
Cursive. Oh.
Yeah, because I don't know if we ever discussed this. I was only taught only taught how to write cursive, but because of my dysgraphia, I never truly learned how to write cursive. So I don't know how to write technically.
Oh.
Yeah, like I know I have the idea. I know how to make the marks legible enough, but technically I never learned how to write cursive at a satisfactory level, and they never taught me how to write whatever the other form of writing is called. The one that y'all
For me,
learn.
I always heard it as like printing, but that's probably
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, that's how I
technical.
always heard it as well, but that's not really a proper way to call it. But yeah, I never learned how to do the printing writing because my teachers in the small amount of time that I actually spent with them in grade school were just like, well, you'll need to learn how to write cursive, and then you'll figure out printing writing. I didn't figure out either. Turns out. So yeah, if my writing ever looks weird to you, the reason is that technically I'm not supposed to know how to write.
Oh.
Yeah. Like the funniest part of this is that I genuinely have a very nice cursive F because I taught myself how to do that one. Like I've been complimented on how nice it looks.
Yeah.
Because that's the point. Like, oh yeah, the funniest story about this whole writing ordeal is that I spent over here. How it's split up is grade school is from grade 1 to grade 9. Oh no, grade 8 actually, grade 8, and grade 1, 2, 3 are like small grades, I guess, while grade 4 onwards are big grades. I spent the first 3 years of school getting told, "Hey, you don't know how to write cursive. Why don't you know how to write cursive?" And then once I learned how to write cursive to a point where people could actually identify it as such, the homeroom teacher in fourth grade went, "Well, you're not supposed to write in cursive anymore. You're supposed to write your own style." Cool, thanks. I've spent the last 3 years getting shit on for doing just that.
With teachers, you can never win. You'll get 10 to teach you to do one thing, then you get one that's like, fuck all that.
Yeah. So yeah, but after that, I just decided to be the biggest fucking dumbest asshole about it, and just invented how to write a couple of letters my way. Just taking the basics of cursive and just made my own way to write the capital K and stuff like that. But because of this, there's still some things like I don't know how to write a capital cursive J because there is no such thing. The capital cursive J. There's a non-capital cursive J. There's a capital printing J. There's no capital cursive J. And stuff like that. It's like
there is at least over here. I don't know about over there.
No, it exists. I don't know how to do it. Is what I'm saying.
Oh.
Like I'm aware that it exists. I haven't seen it recently enough to actually know what it looks like, and I don't know how to write it. So because of the whole thing where I was supposed to write my own style. And there's a couple of letters like that. I genuinely still don't know how to write cursive Q's, for example, because it never comes up. So why would you? But yeah, this shit is funny to me because in a cruel fist of fate, I make logos as a hobby. Making logos since I've learned to draw has become in part writing.
Learn by doing.
Yeah. And I feel like we both like I feel like both with if you scroll up the new logo that I made, you can see parts of this, but also with this one, like you can tell, like yeah, like those look like the letters somewhat, but like the reads, the when I actually tried to do the capital cursive stuff, that worked for the most fine for the most part. I don't remember how to write a capital cursive D, but that's whatever. But the FOS part of the logo, in my opinion, isn't really great. I tried to do something with it, but it just doesn't look great.
I like it.
All right, thanks. Speaking of logos, there I forget which one it was, but I remember looking at the logo I made recently or remade recently. I don't know, and just going that part looks off. I need to fix it. And I don't remember if I went back and fixed it, which will bother me now. But hey, whatever. Let's see. Oh yeah, I guess this is a small anecdote that we can hit for further runtime. But yeah, you know
Well, I
how.
think I probably should head off soon, so let's not try and drag this out, huh?
Yeah, I'm not trying to check this out. This is a short thing. But yeah, so you remember how I think last week you were like, well, who will you need to explain being the ace to, realistically speaking? And uh turns out, so uh how do I set the scene for this in a manner that's actually understandable without too much information? So you know how my mom works at my second high school now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's officially become the person who deals with the kids, pretty much. Like she's the person who's supposed to try and get the verse kids, I guess, to
Yeah.
work together with the teachers and stuff like that. And it's because of this, she's also the one responsible for making it so the kids are satisfied. Which means making parties when appropriate and stuff like that. So there was a party. Oh yeah, and by the way, because of my connection with the school and all that, and yeah, of course I have to attend these usually to
Yeah.
record them. And yeah, so there was a party for Halloween, I think. Yeah. Oh no, not Halloween, Easter. There was an Easter party where apparently one of the girls got eyes for me, which is weird and creepy from her. Because like I'm probably like 7 years her elder, if not more.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason we know this is because she's transferred schools. But she is transferring schools right now. But she was still like, yo, is your son if there's gonna be another party, is your son coming? And she was like, yeah, he has to record. And she was like, okay, then I'm coming too. Great. So yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this situation.
Dude, you are a magnet for it. I don't know. Like
Yeah, like I don't
there's
get it.
something
Yeah,
there
go
is
ahead.
something you are hiding from us.
But what I'm hiding from you is that apparently I guess I'm attractive.
Has Pink hang on. Have you been giving Pink pictures of yourself this entire time for him to use in his avatars?
Not since the accident, no. But shit, this plays together too well with the gimmick. Cause remember, I am affixed to Pink's back.
No.
No, but genuinely, I don't know what it is. Like you've seen pictures of me. Obviously, you're not gay, but like I'm not attractive. What the fuck?
First of all, it's in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, but yeah, this is like it's genuinely become a thing But like every couple of times I leave the house, I guess. Cause like, I don't really leave the house. But when I had to work at the buffet, apparently one of the girls fucking was like, "Hey, that guy's cute." When I was going to school, as I've told you, multiple girls asked me out. Now this thing, so yeah. One of the reasons I need an easy way to go, like, hey, I don't care about this or you really, but
You
with
know,
more
you
tact.
remember I've joked before that you'd be a big hit with the ladies with the accent coming to the States. You shouldn't do that. You'd be too powerful.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, maybe. But if nothing else, no, that's a bad joke. Never mind. Uh, but all I'm going to say is, how still my thing, my title on the forum is Pimp of Fictional Women. Yeah,
Yeah.
the gimmick is coming alive. I don't like it. Like
What? Hang on, I missed out on that. What'd you say?
well, I was trying to make a joke that it's becoming reality, the gimmick, but
I didn't hear it. What was it?
because of how women are for some reason attracted to me, seemingly.
I didn't hear what you said.
Which part? I'm confused.
Like the whole fucking thing, something living. I don't know.
I said the Pimp of Fictional Women, which is the title that I've like the reason I haven't asked for the admins on the forum to change it yet is because every time I've meant to, some drama broke out. Literally the day I was trying to ask for it, and I was like, okay, maybe we can wait until things quiet down. And I just haven't had the fucking the thought to do it since. Yeah.
Just go ahead and ask Goku now.
All right.
Because if you had asked 2 or 3 years ago, Corn probably wouldn't have liked it. Because Corn seems to like for our titles to be mocking us, but Goku, like Corn, probably doesn't get much of a say anymore.
Yeah. But yeah. So, what was I going to say? I don't know. It must be partially like in the recent years. It must be partially because of the hair. Because I've also had this weird encounter. It's an old lady. Well, just might know. No, I had this. I was making a joke. I had this weird encounter with an old lady. We were going to celebrate my niece's birthday because it was recently, not really, but whatever. It was recently enough that this is the first time or the earliest time that the family could get together, and we were leaving to go someplace else. And while waiting for the bus, an old lady was walking to the store. I'm assuming. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention to her. But yes, she was walking to the store, which is right next to the bus stop, and she just stopped and mouth agape started looking at me. I'm like, okay, so either she's enthralled by something, or she's about to fucking like tell me off for having the audacity of having a mohawk or something. I guess two-tone hair maybe. And then she walks up to me and she's like, young man, that hairdo is really fucking good. It looks really cool. It looks good on you. Don't cut it. And then she left.
Amazing.
Yeah. And this isn't the first time this has happened. Like, I've been complimented on my hair multiple times since I started wearing it like this. Which is nice. Yeah. The funniest story I have with this, though, is I was walking along a path. We are walking home, and this is on route from wherever we are going. I forget, and home. there's this stretch of the land or whatever, the stretch of the path that's next to the hospital or a hospital, I forget, whatever. And because of that, there's a lot of old people walking around on that path that we were taking. And while walking, these two people didn't stop me, but it was an old couple. And I didn't hear any of the conversation aside from the old woman going, "Why can't he have hair like, or why couldn't he have hair like that? I used to have hair like that too." And that was just the funniest thing to me, that this old couple got into an argument over my hair. Like, you'd figure they'd have bigger problems. But yeah. So yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, the point I was trying to make is, so yeah, that I do need a quick way to go. Hey, I'm not attracted to anyone or anything really, because apparently things are attracted to me sometimes.
Yeah, I guess that's a problem to think out. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. Oh yeah. I guess the to sign off on something. I wanted to hear your take on this, and I don't think it will take too long. So they have announced the Lords of the Fallen, which is the sequel to Lords of the Fallen.
They have?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. Like
All right then.
yeah, it's coming only for PS5, Xbox Series, and PC, because the last gen consoles can't handle the suck that this will bring. Because like, here's the thing. You know the people who did the original Lord of the Fallen?
Yeah.
They're not in on this.
Amazing.
Yeah. So you could argue, hey, they made the Surge and the Surge too. Maybe this will be better because they have experience. No, not anymore.
All right then.
Yeah. And with that, I believe we can call it a podcast. Pink, say bye.
Hi, I'm Pink. I like big women. Bye.